Hi, Ultimate Wellness Tribe. Today I'm joined by Jarrod Barakett, President of the Light Systems. Hi, Jarrod.
Hey, Julia, how are you?
Doing great. Thank you for joining me. I'm excited to ask you some questions. Jarrod Barakett is an entrepreneur, operations leader, and Forbes featured executive known for his discipline, resilience, leadership. After overcoming some profound personal and health challenges, he turned to holistic wellness and alternative healing, shaping his mission to help others reclaim their strength and resilience. The Light System is a global wellness company advancing light-based non-invasive technology for achieving that balance to calm your nervous system and to improve this holistic healing. The Light System is the title sponsor of the 2026 Ultimate Wellness Conference, so make sure to join us to meet Jarrod in person at the Faena Forum in Miami Beach at the end of September. Jarrod, before we even start talking about this amazing technology, I want to know about your personal story. What is there most important for you to stay resilient, high-performing?
It's 100% discipline focused.
Okay.
People like to say motivation. Motivation requires something else or somebody else, right? The old carrot or stick, right? Something has to motivate you. Discipline doesn't matter, right? Discipline is 100% on you. You're accountable, and it's your decision whether or not to get up and go or not. So discipline for me is key. I force myself to do things every day during the work week. Monday to Friday, I go to the gym. I get up early, go to the gym, come home, take my daughter to school. I don't like going to the gym. I actually hate it. I have a lifestyle that I like to maintain, and I like the way the gym puts me in a position to better perform throughout the day. Almost 50 years old now, my body aches. Okay, so I get aches and pains, but it doesn't matter because I know it's important for my longevity. I know it's important for me to be on this planet longer, to be here for my daughter, to be there for my wife. They need me. I have responsibilities. I have to be accountable for those responsibilities. And I feel like the gym is just part of a mechanism that's going to increase my longevity, keep me on the planet longer, put me in a better position to protect and provide for my family.
What is the next tip for longevity?
Well, again, a tip for longevity, I can't say specifically because I think it's different for everybody. We know that there's a direct correlation between longevity and muscle mass, which is why I try to work on muscle mass.
Metabolic health.
Yeah. And so, that's all part of it, right? And if we can dive into the Light System and different alternative modalities, that's when all the rest starts to kick in.
I would say that the true luxury for me personally and basic for my overall wellness and longevity is calm nervous system. I think this is true luxury, and I think here is where we can start discussing the Light System, because this is exactly the technology, light-based technology, non-invasive technology for calming your nervous system. And this is the start for your healing. Because if your nervous system is not balanced, you just cannot access this parasympathetic state and start heal yourself from within. And of course, now we are living in this modern, fast world. A lot of stressors, a lot of challenges. We cannot avoid these stressors because it's our everyday life. How the Light System comes here in picture for calming nervous system, how it works.
Listen, I like to compare it to an electric car because we're electric beings, right? It takes electricity from us to walk from here to there. It takes electricity for an electric car to drive from here to there. When you buy an electric car, the dealership tells you how many miles you're going to get per charge, right? So they tell you. But it doesn't account for, say, driving into a heavy headwind or pulling a heavy trailer. You start pulling a heavy trailer, driving into a heavy headwind, you're not going to get the same distance out of a singular charge. So that heavy trailer and that heavy headwind is what we're now experiencing today in the food we eat, the water we drink, the air we breathe, talking on our cell phones, being around dirty electricity, and even being around negative, bad people. It all drains our electric charge. So just like a car, when your charge runs out, so does a battery, and the car just stops moving. When our charge runs out, we stop working, or stop working properly, we get sick, right? So what the light system does is it increases the charges on our body, it increases the electroconductivity within our cells, it balances the energy within our body, it increases the efficiency in which the energy flows through our body, giving our body the tools, like recharging a vehicle, giving our body the tools to elevate our cellular charge to be able to fight whatever might be ailing it. It puts the body in a better position to deal with all of the handicaps, all of the sickness, all of the weakness, everything that you might be experiencing in a day, no matter how bad or how easy. It could be a headache, could be trauma from an accident, could be mental clarity, it could be anything. Really, whatever ails you, we bring up your electrical charge, we put you in a better position for your body to do what it wants to do and what it knows how to do, and that's heal itself.
As president of the light system, what problem were you most determined to solve?
The beauty about the light system is it uses multiple avenues to achieve the one basic goal, and that's to put your body in a better position to heal itself.
So, Jarrod, as far as I understand, the light system not only calms your nervous system, but it also charges you on cellular level. And there are some exact avenues.
And just a point of clarification, although it does calm our nervous system, it really puts you in a better position to heal yourself. And so that nervous system and calming the nervous system is part of that process. But really what we're focusing on is giving your body the tools to be able to do that. So as you mentioned, we have 3 different avenues to do that. One is polychromatic therapy, which just really is a fancy way of saying colors.
I like it.
And we use biophotonic collision, and we use affirmations.
So polychromatic therapy is inside the light system, and I saw there are many different colors, different lengths of waves, right? I know that there are such modalities like injection with light, IV with light, but here light comes non-invasive, yeah? And how it works, which color does what?
Yeah, and it really depends on what school of medicine you follow. But blue light, and not the bad blue light that we've been conditioned to worry about, but blue light has a direct impact on inflammation, so it can reduce the inflammation within your body. Red is good for circulation, yellow is good for digestion, green is good for your spinal and nervous system, and so on and so forth. Every color provides a benefit. Every program has a distinctive purpose. So let's just say you're coming in because you have to deal with your nervous system. We might add more greens to it. Right? Similar, rest and digestion is very big for us. So one of our programs, Zyto, is founded on rest and digestion, right? Which is very, very important for longevity. Both we need rest to recharge and digestion to fuel up, right? If you're dealing with digestive issues, we might use more yellows. So we can manipulate the amount of color you receive. It's just when we talk, we've been conditioned to think that blue light is bad, for example, right? But blue light in the sense of what you receive from your iPhone or your iPad when you're looking at it, or your television, is very different than the blue light coming off of an LED panel. You know, those red light therapies now that have the blue and the yellow and the purple lights in it. Very, very different type of light coming out. One isn't good for you. One messes with your brain and your eyes, and the other provides a benefit to your body.
Yeah, correct. And red light is good for healing wounds, and for boosting recovery process. I know this. And yellow, you said for what?
Digestion.
Digestion. Okay.
think of fruits and vegetables, right? Bananas are very good for digestion. Tomatoes are very good or beets are very good for circulation.
Yeah, it's very exciting how light influences our body. And the second avenue, you said, it's affirmations. And everybody knows affirmations really, really help us reprogram our brain and change these neuron pathways, right? Because our brain is so lazy, it always goes the same way. And it takes effort to teach our brain to change direction, because even if the brain would have better direction, better path, it always chooses the most easy, the easiest, well-known way. And with affirmations, we can reprogram our brain and change our destiny, change our life. How these affirmations incorporated in the light system?
So the second avenue we use is affirmations. And first I'll get maybe a little bit complicated, but I want to turn it around and simplify things as easily as possible, because I think simplicity is key with all this stuff, right? So affirmations have the ability, or words have the ability to restructure the water within our body, and we're 70% water. So we know through various research conducted by the most famous researcher on the matter is Dr. Emoto, a Japanese researcher. He found that speaking to water in various ways had various impacts on the water when you froze it. Those different impacts signify restructuring, right? So if you speak to the water positively, tell it it's beautiful or intelligent, the water freezes in a beautiful crystalline pattern. If you're, say, it's a different bowl of water, that it's ugly or stupid, right? Speak to it very negatively, there's less structure to the water, it's more chaotic, and there's no real beauty to it. So how could that be, right? Water doesn't have eyes, it doesn't have ears, it doesn't speak any particular language like French, English, Spanish, but for some reason, the words that he spoke or that you can speak has a direct impact and ability to restructure the water. Well, what we know and what we found is that it's the frequency of the words, right? So the frequency of the word, not the word, but the frequency of the word is what restructures the water. So we're talking about affirmations now. Again, we're 70% water, at least in our bodies, and we talk about affirmations. So our ability to change the shape of our day, week, month, year comes down to what we believe in our mind. So if our mind believes something, and we'll start with the negative, if I wake up and I say, God, something doesn't feel right, I know a fight's coming with my wife. I know it, I can feel it. Now, I am now inadvertently going to be walking around with a certain frequency and a certain vibration that's going to spike her frequency and her vibration. She's going to want to know what's going on with me. Now, she hasn't done anything. She's not starting a fight. I started a fight, and I did it without even knowing it through the frequency and the vibration of the words that came out of my mouth. Even though they may have been normal words, the frequency of those words changed. So we have a direct ability to impact and to change and to create the reality in our brains in the rest of the world on a daily, weekly, monthly, yearly basis. I learned this at a very, very young age. Before any of my big sporting events, my father would lay me down on the living room floor and he'd have me visualize everything that was going to happen through that game. So every play, every instance, every score, I had to visualize because he knew back then, 40 years ago, that if I could see it happen, I had a better chance of it actually happening. Right? And that's what our system does. And our system does it through the delivery of affirmations. I am not the guy that can stand in front of a mirror every morning and say 3 times and shout at myself how smart, intelligent, and handsome I am. I'm not going to do it, right? But our system does that for you. It doesn't necessarily use those words. It uses other words, prosperity, health, wellness. It's structured in such a way that it delivers a positive affirmation to you, but all in the goal of restructuring the water in our body to create a more efficient flow of energy. So that's the affirmation aspect. The third avenue we use is biophotonic collisions. So all of our larger systems are structured in such a way that they have opposing monitors. So when the photons leave one set of monitors and they leave the opposing set of monitors, right in the center of the room, which is where you're positioned, those photons collide. And I don't want to get too much into the science because it's a lot, but that in simplicity, that collision creates a burst of energy that energizes us on a cellular level. And that is about as simple as I can get it. And what I would say is when you put it all together, the benefits of the colors, helping your body with the different therapies received from the colors, coupled with restructuring the water within our cells to increase efficiency of flow of energy throughout our body, and then increasing the energy in our body, all combined to put our body in a better position to heal ourselves with an increased cellular voltage.
When you say charging on cellular level, do you mean better ATP production, mitochondria health? What exactly we mean by cellular level?
Exactly that. So going back to what I said earlier, we are electrical beings, right? We have electricity running through our bodies all the time. And so we've just wrapped up a research project last month, and it shows that just within 1 hour of being exposed to our technology, we witnessed a 80% increase in cellular charge.
Cellular voltage, how do you measure cellular voltage?
So this researcher, by the name of Dr. Glenn Ryan, he scrapes cells from the inside of the cheek. He can measure the voltage and the charge of the cells before and after exposure and during. So he takes different samples throughout the process for us to get a better understanding of how long the therapy should last, and that's how we measure, and that's how we can now establish and develop protocols.
Yeah, I agree with you that we need electricity to be alive, and at last moment when the person dies and they try to bring it back to life with electricity shock. So basically, once we don't have any electricity in our body, we just not alive. And that's, I know, like electroshock, it's last possible opportunity, but we are not obviously waiting for this last moment to help with urgent care. And this is like boosting on daily basis, like adding life to our body.
Yeah, and you're right? In that fleeting moment, the electricity goes out. The really cool part is, I think a lot of people have been seeing it going through the internet and Instagram now, is the same thing at conception when that sperm penetrates the egg. There's a burst of light, burst of energy, right? So just as that burst of energy comes into life, as you say, it fleets when it ends.
So, Jarrod, the light system really sounds as advanced technology for longevity, and it's very impressive. You really created something outstanding. But how we can incorporate it in our daily life, in our busy life?
So first I would say we have, hundreds of centers in dozens of countries around the world. So no matter where you are, you can find one very easily. Those are more of a clinical setting. So you're within a group of people, and they're being run by very passionate, very knowledgeable center owners and operators. So that's a really great place to start, because you're getting an education through the process as well. In terms of how long and how often, it really depends on what you're going through and what your goals are. Right? The more serious of an ailment you might be experiencing, the more, we spoke about handicaps earlier, the more our body is utilizing every bit of energy inside of it to be able to fight whatever's ailing you. So in that instance, you want to go more often. They might be overnight sessions, several overnight sessions throughout the week. But if you're maintaining and using it for, what I use it for, which is performance and recovery and so on and so forth, then, as I stated, our chair unit, we've experienced an 80% increase in cellular voltage in an hour. So what I do is I'm about 45 minutes to an hour every day. Now, I also know that I don't have to do it every day. You could get away with every other day. So, but then when you look at our in-home units, so our sphere and our pyramid and our cube, you're leaving those things on 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and you're experiencing it and you're feeling it and you're taking it in all day, every day, or as long as you're around it.
Do you stack your biohacks? What do you usually do if you sit in this room for 45 minutes?
The funny thing is, you don't have a choice. You talk about earlier, calming the nervous system. We go to trade shows all over the country. Doesn't matter where we are. Doesn't matter the environment. They are loud and chaotic.
Yes.
And as soon as people sit in our chair, they're out like a light. So that's what I do. I sit in the chair. You don't bring your cell phone in. You could, but again, your cell phone's lowering your charge, so it kind of defeats the purpose. So I leave it out, and I close my eyes and I relax. I love talking about my wife in this instance, because she has so much energy, way more than I do, and I mean, the amount that she gets done in a day is nothing short of incredible, but it comes at a price for her. Right? She's constantly vibrating and very, very high energy, and she has a hard time calming. But yeah. I put her in the chair, and within a minute or two, she just...
It's such a hug.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's also detox from social media, and it's a rare chance to put our iPhone away from us. Yeah, it's nice. And can we meditate during this session? Because I personally do transcendental meditation for many years. It's my daily practice, at least 15, 20 minutes, at least once per day. Ideally, I would do it twice per day, in the morning, in the evening, and this is the practice how it should be. Again, we are busy people, at least once per day. So when you come to this room and you are without phone, hopefully without any negative thoughts, can we just meditate?
100%. I would say that would be the best possible thing to do.
Yeah. Sounds like an enhancement for your daily routine, for your meditation, somatic healing. You can do breath work, you can do meditation, whatever you practice, you can combine it with the healing at the light system. And you can do it in biohacking centers, clinics, and of course you can bring this technology to your apartment, home, house. This is actually amazing to upgrade your home because our environment influences our health so much. How is your technology deals with EMFs, or does it add any EMFs?
No, it doesn't. We have tri-field meters we work with. You bring it right into the center of our system. It doesn't produce any EMFs. None of our products do it. It's yeah.
That's great. So it doesn't add any electromagnetic fields in your environment, and it does not. But it's not like it protects. It just overlay them with some positive charge, right? It's not like it blocks EMFs, but it definitely overlays them with coherence. Does it put it in coherent state, right?
100%. I mean, that's our goal is trying to get you into a more coherent state. In terms of blocking EMFs, no. I mean, I have my own theories of how it happens.
It's impossible.
Yeah.
It's impossible to block EMFs. It's only, as I said, it's possible just like send you some coherent signals on top of that electromagnetic fields, so you tune in another radio like frequencies, so you don't tune to EMFs and you tune to more coherent frequencies of the nature. And if I understand correct, the light system exactly tunes you to coherent frequencies, to coherent state, the same as nature.
That's the goal. Yeah, absolutely. So, and again, when we're at the show, we travel everywhere with our tri-field meter. We can show you. Now, point of clarification, our chair does have rodent coils. So there's PEMF, pulse electromagnetic frequency. So when you put your tri-field meter within our chair system, it is going through the roof, but it's pulse electromagnetic frequency, which isn't toxic or bad for us. It's not radiation. It's actually doing the opposite. It's increasing the cellular voltage within your body, energizing your cells.
So inside this chair, there are PEMF.
Yeah.
Yes.
So one of the
not only light, something new.
Yeah. So one of the options on our chair, we have rodent coils above the monitors. Super cool. We worked with an incredibly talented frequency guy, for lack of a better term. And what he did is he developed, I said earlier, we have 16 programs. He developed 16 frequencies to match every one of our programs. So whatever program we're running, we can have complementary frequencies coming from our rodent coils.
Could you please name a few programs?
Yeah, I mean, just a couple. I think we have Passion and Manifestation, Pele's Fire, Golden Light. But
I am interested in manifestation. I need to try. Jarrod, I know that you had spine surgery and it definitely was some profound health challenge. Now you are in the best shape. I don't know what was before, but now you are in a very good shape. And I see your energy, you do a lot, you perform. What was your healing journey? And what helped you to overcome this health challenge? And how the light system helped you in this?
So a little backstory. I mean, I've alluded to it earlier. I've had a lifetime of sports, but I was hard on myself, right? The sports I played was hockey, football, rugby, skydiving, bungee jumping, boxing. I mean, all of this took a toll. I mean, a lot of other sports too, but those are the high impact sports. A lot of this took a toll. And I'm also Generation Xer, right? We didn't really care about anything we did to our bodies back then. But nobody told me the price I would pay for it later. And so as I got older, my back pain started to increase considerably. And funny story, I fought in Golden Gloves at the age of 40. And when I went in for my physical, they took my height, and the nurse told me I was a certain height, and I told her she was wrong. And she told me she wasn't, and I told her she was. And we argued because I wasn't giving her that inch. There's no way I lost an inch in my life, right? And an inch for a man is important, right? In more ways than one. So I fought for it. But what I later found out, so that's when I was 40. Now fast forward 8 years, and I find out that my spine was so severely damaged and it was so severely crimping my spinal cord that it was in that moment that I realized where that inch went. Right? It was a compression of my spine. So just dealing with back pain and stuff like that, and medicating for the pain to go away, and dealing with it on a daily basis. It wasn't until I started playing baseball, or I call it beer league baseball, go out with the guys and have some beers and play some baseball, that the kids started laughing at me. All our kids would be in the stands, and that's because I kept falling. My head was moving faster than my legs. My legs weren't keeping up, and I would fall, be it in the outfield or running to first base. I would fall a lot. And I had this numbness and this weakness in my legs. And then I started to lose continence. Never really fully, but I couldn't. I was like a child, right, doing the dance, trying to keep my urine inside of me. And there's massive sense of urgency to get to the washroom. So my wife finally said, "Jarrod, that's enough, we're going to the hospital." So we went to the hospital, they did an MRI on site, and they found that my spinal cord was so severely pinched that if they didn't operate on me right away, I risked being in a wheelchair for the rest of my life. So, which was crazy to me. I mean, to be told, you literally have a couple hours to decide whether or not you want to have spinal surgery is something that I never thought I'd ever have to do. But I did it. I didn't have much choice. If I could tell you how much pain that was coming out of surgery, I still wouldn't do it justice. An ex-business partner of mine, and unfortunately family member, became a drug addict, dealing with popping pills and morphine and oxy and all that stuff. So for me, I wasn't going down that road, and I got off it as soon as possible because that stuff is hereditary, runs in the family, and it scares us. Pardon my language, it scares the shit out of me. So I got off of it, and the consequence of that was excruciating pain, to the point where it felt like every time I got off the bed to go to the washroom, my spine was still on the bed. It was killing me. And if you can imagine 5 weeks of that pain, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, I mean, it was enough to put me in a place mentally that I didn't want to do it anymore. I just didn't. It was too much. But I kept going, and it was around that time that I got introduced to the technology. So I had it set up in my bedroom, which is where my office was. I still had to work at the time. I still had to pay the bills and whatnot. So I still had to sit at my desk. And so when I left the hospital, they told me to stay out of the gym for 6 months. That was March 22nd, so 6 months put me at September 22nd. But after being introduced to technology at week 5, 6, or 7, I started to feel a lot better, started going to the gym at week 10, and by month 6, I was in the best shape of my life.
The light system came to your life exactly at this challenging moment when you were in pain and you desperately needed some relief and better healing, and that's how you started the light system.
Yeah, 100%. That's how I was exposed to it. And that's why I can now speak so passionately about it, because I know how much it helps. I know what it does for me. And I mean, that's just what it did for me physically. I mean, the mental clarity I receive from it on a daily basis and the level that it augments my ability to function and communicate. I call it a flow. I spend more time in the system, and I walk out of it either taking calls in the system or for the day after. I am just on. I speak clearly, I speak quickly, I speak with passion and enthusiasm, and that's what it does for me. It elevates everything I believe inside me. It makes me a better person. It makes me function better, and that's what I love about it, and that's what I love to preach about it.
How we can make this technology accessible for more people, and who are your main clients? Is it corporate clients? Mostly, I guess it's clinics, biohacking centers, but what do you do to make this more accessible for many people?
So again, we have hundreds of centers in dozens of countries around the world. It is very accessible. Those centers that are affiliated or that have our technology, their pricing is regulated. So they cannot charge above a certain level, and that is by design so that it is accessible to as many people as possible. Now, beyond that, we have the Light System has developed our in-house product line, which allows people to bring it into their homes. But if you go to lightsystems.com, you can find the product that's right for you. So that's thelightsystems.com.
The smallest and the most affordable technology. What is the size and what is the price?
So that's our cube is $6,000. I think it's 12 inches by 12 inches by 12 inches. And it is beautiful. We call all of our pieces medicinal art because they truly are eye-stopping. You have it in your office or your home. People are gravitated at our trade shows. People walk from across the room to come and see it because it pops. And so, everybody will see it at Ultimate Wellness and you're going to love it.
What is the biggest room you designed so far with your devices? In some center, maybe, in some biohacking center, how many devices, how the big room?
Yeah, I mean, listen, so in our commercial units, they start at 12 monitors, 12 opposing, so 24, 6 and 6, and then 24, and then 32. So our largest system is 32. That is what we consider to be, the largest. And the reason it's 32 is by design. We have 16 programs. So you can run 16 programs on 16 opposing monitors. So that's the largest system. There's really no need to go beyond that. Some people are putting our pyramid in the center of it, and they're having tremendous results because it's increasing the field and the intensity of the field, and they're loving it. Reports have been astounding. In terms of the greatest benefits we've seen, again, I don't want to say that benefits are received from our technology. It's really the power of the human body that are receiving the benefits or producing the benefits. And we're seeing, from shrinking tumors in dogs and people to, fewer instances of epileptic seizures to, a great example, my warehouse manager's dog 3 weeks ago got out of the house and was hit by a car, flew 20 feet in the air, had an open fracture on its paw. The fracture was so bad, the dog was going to be put down. Instead, because of our customers and the revenue we're able to bring in from our customers, we opted to cover all surgical costs for my warehouse manager's dog, which is a beautiful story, and I'm really proud to work for an organization that can do that. But his dog Max, again, his bones were out of his paw after 1 week was walking around, and now it's been 3 weeks, and there's no other than his shaved fur. You would not know that he was broken his bones. So, and our warehouse manager brought Max to work every day during recovery and had him sitting between a cube and a pyramid.
Sounds great. Jarrod, it was really nice to learn about your personal story, to understand the technology better. And I'm so excited that you are going to bring this technology to our Ultimate Wellness Conference at the end of September. And I know that all our community, they are always excited to learn new modalities. And for many of them, this will be something surprising and really very interesting. And it's beautiful. It's beautiful. How many devices are you going to bring to the forum?
We're going to bring all of them. You'll have a good taste of what we bring to the table, what we bring to the market. It'll provide a lot of experience for people too. People will have the opportunity to sit on our chairs, experience how it makes them feel, and then they'll see all of the beautiful in-home units that we have.
Yeah, and how many shapes you have?
So we have the cube, the pyramid, and we just released the sphere. All of them are super cool.
So make sure to join us at this year's Ultimate Wellness Conference at the iconic Faena Forum in Miami Beach at the end of September and meet Jarrod in person and explore the light system, this impressive technology which heals you with light. Thank you so much for supporting us. Thank you for becoming our title sponsor. It's really honor for us to welcome you at the annual Ultimate Wellness Conference. So excited, and we are going to have a lot of conversations and promotions before the conference, because the conference itself is the most exciting moment, culmination. But before this, we like to share all about our partners, our speakers, and I know that you are going to speak on a panel discussion about longevity. It's now a signature panel discussion, and obviously, light system is longevity technology.
Thank you for having me. Super excited for the show. It's going to be great.
It's going to be great. Come join us.